quickly go through some of the slides. Brenda will have them all, and you can all look through them in more detail after today. One thing to say is all of the information that we're talking about is in our annual guide. That's all online, and my contact details are on the first page of that. So if you have any questions after today, that's the easiest way to get in contact with me. Okay, so my name is Mary Collins, I'm a School Liaison Officer in Mary I. I'm going to talk you through the graduate. I'll talk a bit about the college, the programme content, the entry requirements, then the application and selection procedure, and then ways to contact us, social media, that kind of thing. Okay, we've 4 undergraduate courses in Mary I. We're situated in Limerick City. We've almost 30 postgraduate programmes at diploma, master's and doctorate level. We have about 3,500 students, and we have a new campus since spring 2010. So I don't know if any of you have been down to the campus or not, but Mary I used to have, back in the day, about 300 students, and they were all women, and we have one building. It's a very different campus now, I can assure you. It's very much more student-centred. We have a new student centre, new student complex, all of that. And I know the course is the most important, but after that it is important where you choose to study. There's a bit there in college life and stuff like that as well, but I'll leave it up to you to look into that in more detail after today. So, the Graduate Diploma in Education. It's a full-time professional diploma designed to allow individuals already having graduate status to qualify to teach in primary schools. It's an 18-month course in Mary I. It commences in January, so it's 3 semesters of 15-week duration. So you're going to start in January, and your first semester ends in May, the next one starts in September, ends in December, and again back from January till May. It consists of 14 taught modules and 4 school placement modules. School placement modules are done in 2 weeks and 2 weeks, and then instead of 4 weeks. And 3 of those are partnered, and the last one you're on your own. And the college would organise 3 out of the 4, and the last one that you're doing on your own will kind of be in your hometown or whatever else, so that's why you'd be doing it yourself. And in terms of how it is graded and all of that, it's all ongoing continuous assessment. So what would you actually be studying? You would be studying the core curricular areas. That's what you'll be doing. Everything you're actually going to teach when you go into a primary school. So art, drama, English, Gaeilge, maths, music, PE, religious education, and social and environmental studies. So that's like history, geography, science, things like that. So that's what you'll be studying throughout the 18 months. The other things you'll be doing is micro-teaching and school placement. So teaching practice has now been called school placement and vice versa. So I put both down there because for some reason it's changing. In terms of micro-teaching, with our new buildings that we've shown you, there's new teacher training labs and things like that, with new micro-teaching labs, and they're all purpose-built for recording if you're teaching your own class, which would be your fellow students. You'd be partnered, and you critique each other, you'd watch it back, all that kind of thing. Say with the school placements, then you will cover infant, middle and senior classes throughout all your placement at the end of the 18 months. Other things that are worth noting within the programme: you will do Gaeilge placement. It's 2 weeks at the moment, and it's a compulsory part of the programme. At present it is held, it is the August between the first 2 semesters going into the second semester. That may change, it may not change, but that's what it is at the moment. And then there is the Cert in Religion as well, or Cert in RE. That's optional, but it is required to teach in a Catholic school in Ireland. 90% of the schools in Ireland, our primary schools, are Catholic run institutions, so that's why we have it on offer, but it is not compulsory, it is optional to you as a student. So in terms of the entry requirements, what do you actually need? And this is where it's kind of detailed, so you'll know yourself. Applicants must have the following. You must have an honours bachelor degree, or level 8, or a qualification at level 9 or 10 on the National Framework Qualifications. So we start with that. And the other thing that you definitely need is, you either have to have, if you've done your Leaving Cert after 1969, you need your C3 in Honours Irish. So you need your honour. You need your D3 in English if it's higher level, your C3 if it's ordinary level. And you need your D3, so you need your pass in maths, whether it's ordinary level or higher level maths. If you did your Leaving Cert prior to 1969, you need honours in Irish and you need your passes in English and maths. If you're coming from the Northern Ireland system with the GCSE and the GCE A-level exams, you need your grade C at GCE A-level, grade C at GCSE level in both English and English literature, or grade B at GCSE level grade D at GCSE level in additional maths, or your grade A at GCSE level in maths. An alternative to that is if you have a pass in a university first arts examination in Irish, English or Maths, you'll be accepted instead of the Leaving Cert. So if you haven't done the Leaving Cert, you've actually went to college, you've done arts and you've actually passed first year level to have passed English, Irish or Maths, it's the same equivalent as having done your Leaving Cert. The following are also accepted as if you haven't done, let's say, the Leaving Cert or went through the GCE route. In terms of requirements for Irish, there's a lot of other options there. Your grade C in the MAT exam, the diploma, Sagelga, there's one in NUIM. Here the diploma in Arts, the Applied Irish from UCC, diploma in Gaeilge from UCD, UL, there's quite the list there, so there's other options, NUIG, and then in terms of Maths, a pass in the MAT exam will also be accepted instead of the Leaving Cert or the GCSE requirement. So in terms of the application procedure, as Brenda said there, now you can apply to both. It was always just one, now you can apply to both. There are 200 places nationwide in terms of applying, so there's a good chance. There's 140 in Dublin and there's 60 in Limerick. So over there on the right hand side, as you can see, we are the Limerick equivalent, so the 60 places are in Limerick, we're the only people that offer it there, and then Pats have 60 places, Marino have 50 and Frebel have 30. So now you can apply to both centres. We can't say it enough, we're getting that question a lot. You can apply to both centres. All eligible applicants are required to undergo an interview. So that's the main thing of the selection process. It's done by interview. So you can have all your requirements and you apply, but it's all done by interview. The interview, 100 marks are for the interview, and then there's an Irish section. It's an oral Irish test, and that's 40 marks. A lot of the time people get hung up on the Irish element of it. They forget 100 marks actually go for the interview. If you fail the interview or you fail the Irish test, you're immediately eliminated. You really have to do exceptionally well in both to be up there. If you fail either, you're out immediately. Qualified applicants are placed in order of merit as determined by the results of both tests. If we have a flock of people that are all right across the board, 100% in everything, then it's done by random selection. So that's how it's done. So in terms of the interview, what exactly is it about? What do you need to know? How can you prepare yourself for it? It's kind of the stuff you really want to know. 30 marks go for your motivation and suitability to teach. So it really is about you. What makes you want to teach? How interested are you? Your interpersonal skills, 20 marks. Your communication ability, 20 marks. Relevant talents and aptitudes, 20 marks. And leadership potential / initiative is 10 marks. What a lot of students wonder is, what if my undergraduate degree is in business? Would that mean that I'm way behind someone whose undergraduate degree is in liberal arts or early childhood studies? No, absolutely not. We have engineers in the programme, we have people who did other things altogether. So it doesn't make a difference. If you really want to do this, then you will have spent time in your spare time working up hours, getting experience, maybe coaching kids' sport teams or involved in choirs or getting days in a school like Eddie was saying earlier. Anything like that will show that you're interested and you're working towards this. All of that will help you in the interview. There's a big difference between the person who's sitting in front of you and said, in my spare time I've actually dedicated time to working with kids and getting experience to find out if this is what I really want to do, and those who haven't. Then in terms of the Irish, your Leafcook is 10, your Crinnis is 10, your Folklore is 10, your Severus is 5, and Lehorach is 5. So you're given a small piece to read. The Irish element of it is to test your oral language. So the interview is really about you. This part isn't about you as a person, it's just about your level of Irish. So don't worry so much about what they're asking you. The little piece that you read, you may be asked to explain what it's about. In the other interview section, where they are getting to know you, they may drop a couple of sentences or questions in Irish, and you can respond in Irish. But they may. They leave that very open. This is where they're testing your actual oral language. So just remember that, the difference between the two parts of it. For further information in relation to that, admissions office. In terms of application procedures and all of that, is the admissions office. In the annual guide as well, there is details about the guy who's behind the whole interview segment of it. If you have any questions for him, his details are there as well. Don't hesitate to contact him, and mine are there also. There is our website. That is the best place to find everything you need to know after today. Same with the annual guide is on there. We are on Facebook and Twitter like the rest of the world. That's probably the easiest way if you want to ask us a quick question. And one other element that is worth noting, it's a new addition to our website in the last month or 6 weeks, but it's getting an awful lot of hits on it. It's a section where if you were to pop on and have a look at the grad dip, you have a question on it. If you scroll down to the bottom, there you go, ask a question. You type it in, you submit it, it pops up as anonymous on the pages. You can see, I'll get an email about it, I'll see your question, I won't know who it's from, and that's me there. I can pop on and answer it. So that's the quickest way to get in contact with us, really specifically in relation to this. So there's really tons of ways, particularly after today. If there's something that I can't answer, I'll come back to you on it, or if there's something you want to ask, as I said, anonymously, you can ask it there. Am I in the 15 minutes? I think I am. Okay, thank you very much.